Hello, everybody. It's Graham Cofe with another MyMusic Now. We're starting in a slightly different way today, which is that I'm on first, and my guest will be joining me shortly. I'm going to be talking to the wonderful Caitlin Lavagna this morning about music, and in particular, her new single, Gold. Always believe in your soul. That's not actually the gold that she's released. It's her own music, a new song, Gold. It's actually smoking hot. But at the moment, she's stuck in, well, not in traffic. She's actually made it to work, which is where she's going to be talking to us from. She's just sent me this wonderful photo. There she is. Hopefully you didn't see the reg of the car. But there she's parked outside Theatre Nachnog. I can't pronounce that properly. That was my worst Welsh. She'll tell me exactly how you pronounce that very shortly. But there. It's me at the moment. Hello to anyone that hasn't been listening to my music before. Welcome to my little abode, which is this is where we do all of the interviews. Just let me take you through what I've got behind me here whilst we're waiting for Caitlin to arrive. So what this is my little board, and on my little board we have various bits of memorabilia, etc., from people who have been on the show before. So we can see various things from Analog Trash, the support of the show, and we've got some stuff up here from Snail Mate, lovely, all the way from America. Skydiving Penguins, one of the early adopters of the show. Beauty and Chaos, Polly over there in the corner, in the middle of writing the new album at the moment. But I don't need to talk anymore because she's here now. Caitlin, thanks for joining. Hello.
Hi.
I just kept the things going. I kept things going. Well, I even showed people photo very quickly there, so people could see the reg of the car. Of you parked outside. How do you pronounce that theatre? Because I tried in my worst Welsh accent to pronounce that. And there is I think there's someone's nicked the E, haven't they, of the theatre?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's the Welsh theatre. That's how you spell it in Welsh. It's Theatre Nanog.
Theatre Nanog.
Nog. Yeah.
Nog,
I thought it was
Nog
when I started, but
lovely.
I was corrected to Nog. Yeah.
Lovely. Love that. It's it looks like an industrial unit, but inside it is an industrial unit.
It's wonderful. An industrial unit, and it's basically been, you can probably see, it's been kind of transformed into the offices. There's an office upstairs, there's a lovely green room with a lovely coffee and tea area for the actors. It's really exciting. So
what sort of things do they put on there?
Theatre Nanog are like paving the way for Welsh theatre. They do lots of theatre and education. They do lots of Welsh language shows, musicals, plays. They really are kind of creme de la creme of Welsh theatre companies, and I feel very lucky to be involved in this. Currently, we're doing Operation Julie, and it's a prog rock 70s musical. I think I mentioned it to you last time I was on. And
it's not a very Welsh name, is it?
Operation Julie?
Yeah.
Or Theatre?
No, Operation Julie. Has it got a Welsh title as well? Or how do you say that?
No, it's literally called Operation Julie because in the 70s, that's what they called it. It's all about an LSD drugs bust. Right. And it's actually, I'm probably going to get this wrong, I think it's the biggest LSD drugs raid in Europe,
right?
The world, or the UK.
If anyone knows, and they want to just Google that while we're talking.
I'm also live on Instagram, and nobody has corrected me yet. So, but yes, it's a crazy story. It's funny. It's obviously a little bit bonkers. The music is next level. It's prog rock. It's like clashing rhythms, clashing harmonies, in your face music, as well as the most gorgeous, beautiful, you know, we've got like King Crimson in there. We've got Talk to the Wind. We've got some. Oh, it's just like an absolute delight being in the room, and the cast are like fab. I can't wait to go on tour
So
with it.
is it actual songs from the 70s sort of thing with the prog rock songs, or is it like new songs in there?
No, we've used, it's kind of, I suppose it's technically jukebox in that way. It uses
Yeah.
old songs, but obviously we've, you know, doing it again 2 years later, having not having to start from scratch means that we've been able to
Oh, I
add
love
little
that.
bits to the music. So
Oh,
like,
I want to see that now.
it's brilliant.
It's
It's so
probably
good.
got loads of my favourites in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there any Yes in there? Do you know?
There's Bread Fan.
Right.
There's King Crimson. There's, oh my gosh, Mankin.
Yeah.
Yes. Or was it Mankind? I don't even know. There's a song called Bananas, which is potentially my favorite thing I've ever done in any show ever, and it's
Really?
fab. Yeah, it's, when I tell you, like, as a drummer and actor musician, sometimes you go into shows and as fun as they are, you are just kind of keeping the band together, if you like. Yeah, and that's fine. But this show really allows like every one of the cast to kind of show off a little bit on their with their skill on their instrument. I mean, we've got some of the best guitarists in South Wales for sure.
Yeah. Did you sort of gem up on like Bill Bruford videos beforehand?
I didn't actually. I'm gonna have to check him out.
Ah, yeah.
I'll have to do
The original Yes drummer did play with King Crimson as well. Just
that.
all round kind of genius, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little bit, my brain is a little bit everywhere because me and 3 other of the cast of Operation Julie came straight from Turning the Wheel musical, which was a very like Welsh, yeah, Turning the Wheel, you know, miming story all about the Tonopandi riots, about
Oh, not
loss.
those riots again.
Yes, those
Yeah.
bloody riots. Oh.
Those riots. No, it's fine.
So yeah, we finished on the Saturday afternoon. There was 4 sellout performances in our local theatre, the Park and Day in Treorchy, and that was really, really special to be a part of. That was written by Kieran Bailey, who's in this with me. So we had the Sunday off, which ended up being Mother's Day, which was great timing. Thanks, ma'am. So we had to do Mother's Day, then come straight to Operation Julie. So I won't lie, professionally or not professionally, it's taken me a moment to switch. And then in the middle of that, I've released Gold. Well, I haven't released it yet, but I'm doing all of the stuff to.
Do you know what? I love the way you managed to segue that in there, because I was just thinking really ought to talk about your new music in a minute, but don't worry. I was going to ask you, have you ever done the sort of Welsh Mine experience? You know, the one with the zip wire over the top. You've done that? Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's one in North Wales, isn't there? I haven't done that one. I'm hoping to be able to do it on this tour because we tour Wales. But I've done there's a new one in South Wales, and I've definitely done that. It's a massive, like, what's it called? Zip wire.
Zip wire, yeah.
Reservoir, and honestly, it was such a brilliant.
Yeah, we did it a couple of years ago. It's great, isn't it? It's fantastic.
Yeah.
The only bit of it that isn't quite so good is the gift shop, because kids spend too much money in there.
Well,
just saying. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. You know, with all of these things. So, stop that camera. Talk to me about what is the camera doing this morning. Let's give it a little clean. There we go. It's getting itself confused. As I said before you came on, so yeah, you have this new song, Gold. Gold! Always believe in your soul. But of course, that isn't the song that you've released.
It's not. However,
it's an absolute classic, but
it's a classic, and it will be the first time I've ever released a song where I know that if people are Googling Gold, mine might come up. So it's probably like, you might get like a 2 for 1.
Fantastic. Yeah. Do you include, this is the thing, right? When you release a song called Gold, do you release when you like put it on social media and whatever, do you put hashtag Spandau Ballet, hashtag Gold in there every time? You know, because it's just,
I think I'll definitely, when the song is out, I'm gonna hashtag Spandau Ballet and Gold, but I'm also gonna tag them and just see what happens.
yeah,
Social media is the one. Maybe, just maybe. Is it Rick Astley? Or have I made that up?
What? Spandau Ballet.
Ballet.
What, that do gold?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Spandau Ballet.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
Rick
yeah.
Astley's guy, though, right?
Rick Astley was never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
Maybe you're confused too. Anyway, I'm going to tag Spandau Ballet, and maybe
Yeah.
one of them will be like, this young girl has released, just about young, has just released this song called Gold. She's stolen the name, but hers sounds really cool. Let's share that. Imagine.
No, what you really need to do, and I love this. You see, when we get into the creative vibe on this show, this is why this show is so completely different from any of the other interviews that anybody does, right? Because, and actually, I listened to another interview you did just before coming on, because I always like to do that. I always like to think, oh, that's what they did. I'm not going to do any of that. So, well, most people are go, well, hey, today I've got Caitlin on and she's going to be talking about this, and everybody does the DJ voice and all of that sort of thing. Anyway, that's not what we do on here. We don't ask the obvious questions, and actually we get really quite creative with it. What you need to do is you don't just need to tag them in it, you need to try and get one of them to sing it with you.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, that's what you need to do.
That's my plug.
That is the aim of the whole campaign, right? If anybody knows anyone in Spandau Ballet, you know, you're connected in any way, shape, or form, please do let us know. That would be great.
Please.
Which one would you choose, Martin?
It's got to be Martin, surely.
It's got to be Martin, hasn't it?
Come on.
Or Tony. Tony, actually, I've noticed that Tony is coming to Tony Hadley.
Tony Hadley instead of Rick Astley. Tony Hadley is.
I see where you were going now. Yeah, they sound
like 3 minutes going.
Similar. Yeah, I'm sure it's Rick Astley. No. Tony Hadley is coming just down the road to Seaton this summer. He's playing the Jazz Festival.
Oh,
yeah. Which would be quite interesting to see what he does. Maybe he just does like Spandau Ballet songs, but in like more jazz.
Yeah.
Gold, always believe in your soul. Yeah, I reckon that's what he does. It'd be great.
Definitely practice that in the mirror for sure.
No, I just wake up like this. So tell us about Gold. It's, for a start, it's a cracking tune, isn't it? I mean, it's the great thing about a song these days, if to make it and to really get people's attention, is it's got to have like 20 seconds in that song which really capture you and are a earworm. And this song's got that, hasn't it? Yeah.
I mean, yes.
Come on! I love that. You know, I've got to say, I'm talking to someone that's overly humble this morning, right? In her Instagram first thing this morning, she says, "Come and listen if you want to." What do you mean if you want to? Come and listen, or else
people are on their way to work.
That's why they want to listen, because they're on their way to work. They're all like, "Oh my god, another day of spreadsheets." You know, oh, I could listen to that. That's good. I can pretend I'm doing my spreadsheet and listen to that at the same time. That's the mindset. You see, you've got to think about. Yeah.
I love listening to podcasts on the way to work. I listen to Happy Place all the time. I listen to the Jeff Flynn one on the way here. What was I saying about my song, which I should probably talk about?
Yeah, the 30-second. I was saying that it's got that little bit which you really cleverly edited into from the video bit that you put out on Instagram so far. That bit is so earwormy. It's brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, the true story of Gold is I started off in an indie folk duo called Only the Rain, with my then ex Christian Punter, who now goes by the name of Otto. And we released 2 EPs in the time that we were together, probably about like 3 years. We were busking, doing gigs, writing, you know, it was great. And we released 2 EPs, the second of which I had much more of a hand in. Is that the right word? That's not the right word, but it's before.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, a finger in the pie.
I will have a wagon wheel. Sorry, somebody just asked me if I want a wagon wheel, so I said I would.
I'll have a cup of tea, white, no sugar, please.
There we are. Fabulous. And yeah, basically, like last year when I was on tour with Fisherman's Friends, the musical, and I was working with lots of folk musicians around about the time that I was recording my fourth or third single, We Lost Track, I wanted to show them the songs that we'd released, because I was like, oh, I used to be in like an indie folk duo, and you should listen to some of the folk stuff that I used to do, because they just thought like, oh, she's an actor musician, she's done pop, and you know, no, and it was gone, dun dun dun. And I was like, what? Where's all the stuff gone? We agreed to keep that up. So without getting into the nitty gritties of it, good terms are we are on good terms, and we've talked a lot about kind of the rights and allowed to release what and those types of things. Luckily, Otto's massively talented and doing very, very well, and I don't think is that interested in re-releasing anything. He's kind of moved on to bigger and better things. But when I listen to those songs, I really I've always wanted to, I always saw them as I've seen the next step of them, but obviously I couldn't do that because we weren't releasing music anymore. So after lots of emails back and forth, we had a big Zoom and talked about loads of things. And I was like, look, with your permission, I would really love to revamp these and make them my own, and, you know, take lyrics out that kind of, you know, are not so good anymore because it was 5 years ago and we've both developed. So he basically gave me the rights to it, to all of the stuff. And then, yeah, I've got another 5 that I'm working on. It's just going to be a very good year. And I've also got 2 brand new songs that are just fresh.
Just and tie that together. This is one of those songs. Gold is one of those original songs.
This is what my favorite. Gold is one of the original Only the Rain songs, and it used to be called Vegan.
That's it.
Which didn't really.
That's not a great.
It was fine at the time. Yeah. I mean, at the time we thought it was quirky, it was fun. Veganism was just starting up. Like, it was all this fun stuff. But yeah, I redid it.
I suppose, Caitlin, if you're going to put it in an advert for a not meat product, it might be absolutely perfect. Vegan! Oh yeah, it's a vegan product. Look at that over there. You see, no, but it's not like that, is it really? So the gold's much better, you know.
But the other,
and everybody knows what gold is. Gold.
It's true. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's another Spandau Ballet song.
Literally, imagine if they released vegan as well, that'd be great. But the other really cool thing is, I was showing my friend the version of this before it came out, and she listened, and the bridge lyrics were oh god, what is it? I've got to think of the actual thing now. Anyway, they were lyrics that used to be like Michael Jackson and Billie Jean, like a broken card in a cash machine. And I was listening to it and I was like, oh, I don't think I can. And my friend Nicole, who's a legend, I think she's on my live, she was like, do you want to like change the lyrics of Michael Jackson? Because I just feel like there's not much point in you risking any sort of backlash, or like, and the lyrics made sense. I'm talking about somebody like kind of using you or messing you up for some reason. So it made sense, like Michael Jackson and Billie Jean, because Billie Jean is all about him being like, Billie Jean's not my lover. So it made sense. It wasn't supportive of Michael Jackson, but obviously I don't really want to like even bother going there. So I was like, what can I change it to? What can I change it to? And I'm about to strip. Don't get excited, Instagram. I was like, who's my next favorite band? Queen. So I changed it to like Freddie Mercury and Killer Queen, like a broken card in a cash machine. And now it just feels more me. There were so many things in the song where 5 years ago they were appropriate and fine to say, and then going back with like a coom, I was like, and a sewing needle, I was like, oh, this doesn't translate to a 2024 listener now. Also, parts of the song were very strangely kind of cut up, and I was like, the structure is really quite poor. it kind of hasn't got a chorus / hasn't really got a pre-chorus or a bridge, or it just seemed to be like two ideas that we stitched together, and then kind of I was cajon and percussion and Chris was on the guitar. So yeah, it was the first time I've ever revamped something that I've released technically before, and I found it so difficult, so difficult, because you go back and it's already a kind of finished idea in your head, and even though you know where you want it to go, there's definitely a part of you that's like, oh.
But have you actually learned from that now? Because you know, it is, I think, actually, for any creative, going back over what you've done before, you know, it's when people like release albums of stuff that they've done before and they reimagine them, whatever. Some people go, oh, that's a bit lazy, you know, but actually it's not. It's probably harder work, I think.
It's way harder. It's way
harder. And actually, I think you learn more from it as a musician as well, because it's actually forcing you to look at what you've done before and be quite critical about your own way of doing things. And that's quite important for development, I think. I think that's why so many musicians do it.
Yeah. And I feel like it was, you know, looking back at some of our lyrics and some of the stuff that we wrote back then, like I said, it didn't translate. And also we forget, like, well, I don't forget, being a musician now is almost like signing up to be a TikToker, an influencer, somebody who has to keep on top of trends and post regularly, and it's exhausting. It's like being your own manager. It's like being your own just accidentally looked at my Instagram live and like gave them a horrible like look. I love it and I really enjoy it, but it is exhausting, and it basically takes up every spare moment of your day. And like for me, I'm in a, you know, I'm in a show, I'm in a rehearsal room, I'm constantly doing stuff, and I'm not ungrateful. Jesus, I mean, one day I won't be in an acting job and I'll be back at a coffee shop probably going, oh my gosh, wasn't that a brilliant time when I had loads of work lined up and everything was really busy. But there are the days where you kind of go, right, what can I put on TikTok today that might go viral? Probably won't, but I'll try something anyway. So you've got to like consistently be thinking about that when you write. Like I know some of my friends who are in bands, they've been very, very honest. And recently they've said, we haven't actually started writing a song about anything in particular. We've just written 10 seconds that we know could go viral, or is, like you say, like with Gold, a earworm. So they've gone, oh, gold that tastes like silver on my tongue. Hey, that's great. Now let's write the song around that. And like it's changing the way I think.
You see, hang on a minute. You nearly did it there, right? So that's the first bit. But the absolute gold of Gold is the slight pause there before the next bit. That pause, that little gap, that little space, that's the bit. That is the gold of Gold. Did you know that? From a listener perspective, it really is. It is.
Yeah. And it's the first time. It's actually the first time ever that I just didn't have time to drum on this track, and it kind of destroys my soul a little bit. It's the only one that I'm not drumming. Oh, actually, that's untrue. It's the second of the 5 that I'm not drumming on. And I was like, I fought it for so long. Me and Joe, my producer, were like, maybe I could try and drive to Guildford on the Sunday to try. Oh, but you haven't got a drum kit, so we could rent a studio. And with money and renting a studio space and getting my kit down there in a day, in the one day that I had off between these 2 jobs, I thought I just need to have a session musician do it. None of my friends were available. So I got put in contact with a guy called Harry, who's drummed on the track, and he is absolutely phenomenal. Like he did the best job. I sent him some ideas, and I sent my producer Joe, like I'd put down the demo drums on the track on Joe's little keyboard. I was like, something like this, like something like that. And he just completely, like, he sent 2 or 3. Yeah, he sent like 2 or 3 versions back, and I immediately was like, oh my gosh, you've completely understood. especially because I'm a drummer. That's really hard for him to go, oh, this girl's releasing this song and she wants me to drum on it, but she's also a drummer, so I can't get away with like the minimum.
Can't get away
I
with
said
just
to him, I was
playing
like,
rubbish.
I
Yeah.
needed to be spicy. And he absolutely nailed it. So I think, like you say, you know, the gold that tastes like silver on my tongue. And then there's that like that little gap where he's put like a little on the hi-hat. And I just like, as soon as I heard that, I went, yeah, we'll have that, please. Thank you.
But it's not just that, especially in the little video clip as well. It's what you then do with your head in the gap before the next bit comes in. Do you remember that?
Yes,
like,
I do remember that. The only reason I actually did that in the photo shoot was because this is one of the only songs I've released where there's quite a lot of back and forth, but it's just me.
yeah.
So there's a lot of kind of like lead vocals gold that tastes like silver on my tongue when all is said and done. This was only fun. But the bits in between are like, yeah. There's all this stuff going on. So I was like, oh, I haven't got a music video for this, but I need to mime everything. It feels weird to miss those bits out. So the reason why I turned my head is because I was like, new person. I was like trying to like.
But what it does, and do you know what we're doing there? You said what we're doing now is a very clever mechanism. It's called talking about a moment, which means that then people want to see the moment, so that they're now going to go and check out the video. You see, that's what we're doing here. It's very clever. So it's a bit of a social. It's a bit of a social media thing. By the way, I was also going to say to you a minute ago when you said about, oh, you know, I have to do this, I have to do that. You know, try running a social media marketing business and actually writing for like 10 people every day. It just anyway. You know, I always want to take musicians and go, you think your life is hard? Try this. Anyway, it's but that little bit,
that's absolutely it. What we do,
that little bit, you see, it absolutely works, because what it does is it kind of pulls you in. You're going like, oh. It is like you're almost changing character, and it's kind of like, God, there's so much attitude in that moment. So much attitude.
I know. What I like this song that I'm releasing now, I don't know where the attitude came from, because if you listen to the original track, which is called Vegan by Only the Rain, it's a very kind of like la 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 song.
We
and I feel like
vegan sausages. Yeah.
Yes, very vegan vibes, and that's great. It's all hippie and it's really great and fun.
It's brilliant.
But
I love
now that I have my band and stuff, I think I just was like, I wanted to be like, I just wanted to be gritty and like in your face and unapologetic. And I think with Joe producing it, we've absolutely achieved that, and I'm really, really happy with it.
And that whole aesthetic that you've got going on in the video as well, that's something else, isn't it?
Yeah. I just really like glitter and gold. My friend Ella Jane Matthews, hi Ella, she paints Elphaba. She paints Elphaba green in Wicked in the tour, and she had like a week off, so I was like, oh, can you come and paint me gold on your week off? She was like, yes, okay. But she's fabulous. She started off doing like makeup stuff, and then she basically became a professional wiggy, and she goes around with all the theatre shows now doing makeup and hair. It's great.
It's got a real strong female.
This is my friend Phil, by the way. Phil Harries, who is an absolute theatre god in Wales. He's basically Tom Jones, right? Of like Welsh theatre.
Thank you very much.
Hey, it's not unusual to see you there, is it?
Hey.
See what you did there. Anyway, what's new, Pussycat?
Hey. Whoa.
It's like he's in the room.
It's mad, isn't it?
Fantastic.
Absolutely mad. I'll have a cup of tea, please, Phil. Okay. Sweet enough.
Oh. Why? Yes.
Delilah. Great.
God, what a great song.
Everyone at home. I had to invite Phil on that. I've learned so much from Phil from doing lots of theatre. If you decide to be a sponge, he's absolutely one of the most talented people I've ever met, if not the most talented person, the most talented.
Wow.
I can't finish that sentence because I need a coffee. But yes, he's amazing. So I'm glad we had him on. Gosh.
Well, I'm glad he stepped in for that moment so that we could share that moment. And perhaps we should have him on some time to talk about stuff. You know?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well, do you know what? I've got so many podcasts going at the moment. I'm actually producing 9 podcasts at the moment. Would you believe? 9. There's this one this is kind of just for me. Just this is a bit of fun. I do this out of the kindness of my cat, and then everything else, you know, is for clients. But we've got 9 podcasts going, and they've, in fact, there's a T-shirt for one of them here, and they you know, they vary across all sorts of different things. So yeah, we can get him into a podcast probably around the arts and all of that sort of thing. That'd be wonderful.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Hear his stories, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, he's got many stories. So
listen, it's a fantastic song. I think we've said that before. That it's a great song. I think it's probably your best so far, really.
You know what? A few people have said that.
Not decrying everything else that you put out in the past. It's all been fabulous, but this is sick, right? And actually, I think we can get I think we can get someone from Spandau Ballet to sing it with you, right? I think we should start a campaign. I think we should try and make that happen. So everybody,
that would be great.
Try and get behind it. We want people from Spandau Ballet to sing a little bit of the song. Which line would you like someone to do? Maybe what you need to do is try the duet thing. You know, like the duet thing on TikTok or Insta.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll start it with you. Right? I'll start it with you. You do like you do the first bit, and I'll do like I'll do that bit, and then we'll put it out there, and we'll go challenge. Right? Can you duet with Caitlin? And then like get people to call in, people from Spandau Ballet.
Yeah.
Or other famous songwriters, singers, etc. You know? I mean,
anyone.
What's Lewis Capaldi doing at the moment? Probably not a lot. Let's
looking after himself.
Looking after himself. Bless him. Who else would you like to? Who else outside the Spandau Ballet? Who else would you love to hear sing that song?
I would give all of my limbs, probably. I don't think you can say that anymore, but I've just said it. There we are. For Florence and the Machine to do any of my songs. / I'd love to just be in a room with her and write with her. I think she's potentially one of the greatest songwriters of our generation. And I think she's massively, weirdly, I know she's got a huge following, but mainstream underrated for some bizarre reason. I think she's maybe a little bit too wacky for you know, the Dua Lipa.
Do you know what? I think it's weird, isn't it? That you say that today, because everyone at home's thinking, well, this isn't going to be weird at all. But I was actually watching her last night, not live. Obviously.
Live?
No, I wasn't watching her live, but I was watching because that would be too surreal. I was actually rewatching her performance of The Chain at Glastonbury. Do you remember that? It was the only time her band played it.
Oh God, yes.
What a fantastic performance that was.
Is that when she's in the blue dress and it's raining really heavily?
No, it's sunny and she's in a white kind of floaty white top thingy.
Yeah. She's done it a few times, hasn't she? Yeah, I know the one.
But it's the only time she's played that live. It's the only time they played that live, apparently. Apart from in the practice room where they played it for hours, because you know, if you're going to do Fleetwood Mac The Chain, you have to practice that. Anyway, folks, this has been the wonderful Caitlin. Do check out Gold, not that one, but this one.
Gold.
No, give us a bit of gold. Give us a bit of your gold.
Gold that tastes like silver on my tongue. When all is said and done, this is only fun. That's it, because that's all I've released so far.
You can't have the rest of it until.
But there is another teaser coming on Monday, I think, maybe.
Oh, another.
I'm going to give you a little bit more. Yeah.
And the next bit goes.
And it's out. I should probably say these things. I'm like the worst Graham Norton person ever. It's out on the 11th, and the biggest help you can be to me right now is to like and share my post / pre-save. Please, God. Please pre-save the song. Oh, please.
Oh, people just don't understand what that does. I have to say though, I don't like the mechanism for pre-save. I don't like it.
No, it's not. It only takes a few seconds if you're logged in to whatever thing you listen to. If not, you've got to remember your email and your password, and nobody can remember them. So then you go, oh, I can't be bothered.
Yeah, they need to make that easier.
Oh my gosh, they do. They absolutely do.
They really
There's a TikTok of Jennifer. Oh my gosh, Jenny from the block. What's her name?
J-Lo.
Oh my gosh, Caitlin, wake up. Wake up. There's a fabulous TikTok. I'll share it today and put it up. Of her trying to save her own single that's come out, and it's really funny. She's like, "What's my password? Have I done it yet? Oh, I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna give it. Oh, okay.
It's so
okay,
true.
I've done it. Takes her like 3 minutes. It's
so
ridiculous.
True. That right. Spotify, if you're watching, the way that should work is this very simple user journey. It takes you to the pre-saved track in Spotify. It just opens straight into the pre-saved track, and then there should be a button there that says, do you want to pre-save this? Yes, no, yes.
I'm going to take things into my own hands, because so many people ask me, especially my older generation people, they're like, how do I do this? What does it mean? I'm going to do a video on how to do that for sure.
I think so. Right, you must go. I must go. Everyone must go. But go and listen to the music, everyone. Please do support. And Caitlin, thank you so much for joining me as well.
Thank you.
That's been fun. Folks, if you've enjoyed this, please do share with everybody else, because that really helps. And we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching MyMusic.
Bye.